Hi guys, this video is more about Chinese medicine and morphotypes, and it's kind of a bit in French, so bear with if some of the words you don't completely understand, but you can always translate it and it might make sense to you in English. So I went to this lovely man called Michel Borel, and I had to drive high up into the mountains because he lives in a beautiful little house with solar panels and everything's totally natural. He's got source water and everything, and he had a fire going in the lounge, and it was all quite dark because he uses solar lights, but yeah, very calm environment. That was my first time there. So first he started measuring me. He measured my face and the relationship between the top of my head and then the middle of my head, and then like between my lips down here, and he did the same with my arms, with my whole body. I put my arms out, he checked my thumbs, I did this, and he like wiggled my thumbs around, and from all of that he worked out all sorts of things. So he said that, I'll just show you this. So he said that my carbonique is 20%, which relates to the earth element and roots. Then phosphorique, 40%, relates to water and leaves and tige, which I've forgotten what it is, and florique, which I'm 40% air, which is the same as flowers. And I totally am missing fire. I don't have the fire element in my physical body at the moment at all. So this was what's that say? Oh yeah, my morphotype, le Remy morphotype. And then he created this lovely chart. First I'll tell you about this. So morphotypes, it's the relationship between things, the connection with its development and vital activity, if that makes any sense. It's to do with anatomy, embryology and histology. He says it's very important for me that I realise creations in my life, artistic creations, and that I need to be balanced out. I need to create some fire in me, basically. So things that would help me create fire. He's given me a remedy, but I'll tell you about that later. So this is the next lovely drawing that he did for me, very quickly. There says sele, which is salty things. This is to do with the 5 tastes in on your tongue. So salt, bitter, acid, sugary, sweet, and spicy. So, and he's put arrows. If you look at if you pause it on the picture, you can see the arrows, how one points towards something else and points to something else. There's always a direction with all of these things. So this is the Chinese medicine part. And I had to say, basically, in order, what was my favourite to least favourite of these different tastes. And I started with my least favourite because that was the easiest. And for me, that was salt. And he's put on there that I'm plenitude, which means I'm kind of overflowing, I'm full with salt. And when I eat anything that's salty, like the other day I had a salad where they'd sprinkled on extra salt and it tasted absolutely disgusting. I was like, why ruin a perfectly gorgeous lettuce and put salt all over it? It just was horrible. And then I was thinking, well, okay, that must be relating to the fact that I take a salt, lithium, every single night, and so it's giving me too much salt, more than I need in my body. And this relates to amer, which is the bitter taste, which I don't really eat very much of, but I love. It's one of my favourite things. So I'm vide, I'm really empty in that part of the tastes. By the way, all of these things relate to different organs in my body. and I'm afraid I can't translate those because I don't know them very well in French. And then that goes to piquant, which I actually purposefully don't eat things like what's it called, chili, which is the strong spice, but actually I quite like it. And he's like, well, why stop yourself from eating it if you like it, because your body obviously gets on well with it and you need it. And I said, well, I'm not taking it because I'm kind of trying to follow a bit Ayurvedic kind of Indian way of eating, and my guru a long time ago said, don't eat too much of that, and positive pranic food, negative pranic food, which I think I've talked about in the past. But I've been having some lately and really enjoying it. So I think I just need to listen a bit more to my body and what it needs, and not stop things for no reason or for a yogic reason. Just listen to me rather than what someone else says. And then acide, which I get on okay with. And then I do like sweet things. I love fruit. And the last couple of months I haven't been eating anything sweet and sugary. I've been trying to remove everything sweet from my diet, no fruit or anything, to try and help my gut, and to kind of maybe kill off any parasites that are in my gut that aren't helping me heal. So that is also vide, empty in me, and maybe reducing the amount of fire that I have inside my body. So anyway, from this, he was able to basically give me a whole story about me without me saying anything, and I was like, bloody hell, that sounds all very accurate to me. Couldn't quite believe it. So I won't go into that side of things, but he's told me what I can do to help myself on the food side of things. I'm like, okay, so how can I eat now that's going to be beneficial for me? And he said, I told him that I really have a lot of pepper, because again, pepper is a positive pranic food and I have it every day without fail, black pepper that is. And he said, no, if you have too much of it, it can be really damaging. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to damage myself, so I'm going to cut out black pepper for the moment. And I need to be having dandelions every day, which I have loads in my garden. So I'm now picking dandelion leaves to have my amer, to have my my bitter taste, and to really bring that back into my diet. He said it would do me lots of good. The same with ginger. Have ginger every day. That's also really good for the gut and the stomach. Also coriander and fennel. Here, I don't know if you can get it in England. I've never seen it in England, but here there's this probiotic. It's basically, what do you call it? Levure de bière, which is comes from beer, but it's what's levure? Hang on a minute. Okay, it's yeast. You probably got there before me. It's yeast, and it's like these lovely flakes, and it tastes really delicious, and I just sprinkle it on my dinners and my lunches, and so yummy, and that's really good for your gut as well. So I've been enjoying that lots more. And then he's told me more about fermented veggies, and he makes 40 kilograms in a year and eats it all, and then he just goes in a cycle with his fermented veggies, and he calls it lactofermentation. And it's a bit different to how I've been doing it, so I'm going to change my technique, and I can do a video if you're interested on that. Yeah, you still use salt. Sometimes you use water, and sometimes you don't use any water at all, and you just pack it in so much that there's no space for any air, and then you leave it, and you can't eat it before a month is up. So it needs that whole month to lacto-ferment. So there's no added cultures in it or anything like that, or added probiotics. It's just literally the vegetable itself. Yeah, so that was... Oh yeah, I didn't tell you about juniper berry, and that's going to be the next video. I'm going to talk all about juniper berry and why he's decided to give that to me as a remedy to take for a whole month, and I started that this morning for the first time. See you on the next video. Bye.